Hey everybody. I also kind of had to readjust our headset there for a second, but yes, we are back. We had a little snafu. I don't know if you want to call it a snafu, but um, so I just opted to do a regular video last week. So, but we are back, even if we may be tired or whatever else. So, uh, so I wanted to ask if there was anything from last week that you felt like you didn't touch on, that you meant to touch on, that you would like to touch on for you.
No, no, no. Everything
Okay.
from last week was kind of captured, and we could just, I guess, some of it we could tip in and tip out with today if we start from the beginning with Aaron H.
Aaron H. I need him. I need him to. I I want to know what's going on with him because I feel like it's more than just he went through DV. Because I don't understand like why he's. Cause I want to go by couple this time instead of just going straight from beginning to end because
Okay.
I can't. I don't understand what is he thinking. It's weird, and I don't understand. I don't know. Let me try to collect my thoughts a little bit because I still I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say yet. So maybe if you say something, then I can like kind of be like, that's what I'm saying. So
So which couple you want to start with?
Diamond and Aaron H.
Okay.
Since they were the first part.
So for me, a lot of things. Aaron H. Yes, he considers himself the elder in the house, and that eldership is giving him permission in his mind to be, giving advice even if people don't want it. And to begin with Diamond's friend, it's, but I wouldn't say that to you. And he's saying, Greg better watch out because of how Millie is talking to somebody else. He may be next. It's like, okay, Aaron H, you're also saying that to Diamond because Diamond, watch how he's speaking to your friend because it might be you next. So it's that part for me. It's the, oh, hey, talking to Aaron J's dad. Hey, we elders and stuff, and as Jay said in her live, Aaron H didn't read the room and realized that the dad is kind of like, oh, you the one, and already had an opinion of him that may not be fully favorable. So just talking to the dad, talking about Jody, saying something about their relationship, and Jody walks into the room and he's still talking to the dad. No, excuse me, you know what? Y'all have your time. It feels like he was kind of tainting the waters cuz none of us know the dad. None of us know the dad when he walked in. He may form his own opinions or he may be influenced by someone else's opinion. I'm glad the dad is not influenced by Aaron H's opinion, but if they're there to meet for the first time, you don't go like, "Hey, you gonna see what I'm seeing. You see, and then come back and tell me and see if you seeing what I'm seeing." That to me was just you let people form their own opinions. Let it happen, and then later on, you just ask the dad, "Hey, so what are your thoughts?" Plus, Aaron J's dad has been raising him all his life. You just known the man for 2, 3 weeks. How are you the poster child, even though you're like, he's like a son to me? It's like, I hope you're not inserting yourself into your son's relationships like this. It's like they always say about the mother who's always in the middle of a relationship. I hope
Mm.
Aaron H isn't the father that's in the middle of the relationships. Let your child make their mistakes and be there to guide them and help them learn from it. But who are you to say it's a mistake? You can guide them, but just because you've had an experience with a similar Jody or maybe doesn't mean that this is going to be your child's experience. But it's the peer pressure of the men. Well, everybody knows their partners, and everybody should be sleeping with their partners. Now it's like, when did you get to be the timekeeper as to when we should all be sleeping with our partners? And then everybody's like, okay, we go move the bed. And I just hope with that whole moving the bed situation that and we'll get to it with Jody and Aaron J, that there was a discussion had before. But to me, he was just in everybody else's pot and not taking care of his own.
Yeah, I don't know. With Aaron, I definitely was looking at him sideways. I cocked my head to like kind of all messed up because when he was talking to Aaron J's dad, I was like, wait, hold on. You want to tell this guy, this young dude's dad about Joe? Like, why would you? Why, like, so tone deaf? He just tone deaf for no reason. I mean, you're supposedly a man of a certain age who knows better, but you're doing like what? Why? I don't. I mean, can't read the room to save your life if it depended on it. So I don't understand. So that was really weird to me, and I honestly don't. Honestly, I'm starting to think maybe he wants to go to the boom boom room without with the feet sucking or the toe sucking, plus going all the way. Like he wants to do everything, not just the toe sucking, because I mean, and Diamond is putting her foot down outside of his mouth and saying, "No, we ain't doing it." And I honestly, I applaud her for wanting to do that because it's like he's telling on himself. He's telling on himself, and I don't. I'm just thinking like I was just thinking just now when you were talking that that's why he's all up in everybody's business because he's trying to please her. Because you saw how she was looking last week when he was going off on Jody in the kitchen, smile, and she was smiling like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, and because he was finally backing her up. So I had a feeling what he was doing was he was trying to suck up to her in a way. No pun intended with the feet, but um so I felt like he was trying to suck up to her, and um he that way she would lower her guard and lower her standard to then want to have sex, because I don't really see the point in all this hoopla. I mean, I don't know. It was, and then it's like he don't even get me started on Diamond, because Diamond was just because they still I obviously what we saw with them still bickering like two cats trying to claw each other and get out the water or whatever with Aaron and her sister friend. And so Diamond, I made it a point to write it down that Diamond said in her confessional that she has never seen Aaron like that. But I was thinking, did you not see what he did with Jody the day before or earlier that day, or whatever it was? Because he obviously didn't call her out her name, thankfully, but he was still raising his voice to her, saying, "I don't like you, and this is why I don't like you." Like, I mean, he did everything but call out her name. So that's not really that much better, just because he didn't call her out her name. So, I mean, and obviously he was feeling some type of way because of the sister friend from before. I mean, Irene had a reason to kind of be upset because of what he was doing on Facebook, but she shouldn't have come out like she did. But neither should he have come and started saying what he was saying. So it's a no-win situation. It's a no-win sort of thing, and it just was just all around a mess. And none of these people should be together. None of these people should be together. And I'm just gonna make that a blanket statement right now. I mean, even Josh and Shay, because I still feel. I mean, we kind of saw something next week for them, but I mean, I kind of get ahead of myself. But I mean, even with them, I still don't think they should be together. I mean, considering 12 years of relationship but never met. I mean, I don't know. I just,
The one thing I would give Diamond this week in this episode is she does have she will speak up, and she did speak up for Chris this week. She did speak up even though she had her issues with him. She spoke up and told Millie, well, like, wait a minute, he did give me the opportunity to speak, even though it was, loud and whatever. He did leave room for me to speak. So she kind of like threw water on Millie's fire, like, I don't believe you that he did not give you room to say your piece or apologize. So that one I would give Diamond this week. She was like, that what you're the generalization of Chris that you're making is not one that I had with Chris, and not one we saw with Chris.
okay. I will I will let that be the one positive strike for her. I don't really like her. So, but I mean, she, yeah, I just, I mean, hold on, I'm trying to read my notes real quick. Well, when Irene leaves, we see Aaron trying to sort of say his piece about why he was doing why he did what he did, and he apologized, which honestly, I don't know if I necessarily believe. I don't know. I can't quite tell if he said it because he was genuinely sorry or because he said it just to get on her good side. I mean, obviously, I'm glad he apologized, but I can't. I mean, at first, I thought he was sincere, but then I don't know. Thinking about it, I'm not sure. And maybe I just need to have some empathy here, like Sean likes to do. So I just because and this is also what kind of why I don't really like Diamonds much. And I only give her the one small positive check mark is because she said that she likes he came to apologize because it takes a bigger person to apologize. Um, but her sister didn't do the same thing, or yeah, her sister friend didn't do the same thing. And so because she was out of pocket too, so why have all the smoke for him but not your sister friend? So I mean, maybe she said something but we didn't see it. I don't know, but I don't know. She's just kind of both of them are irritating me, but she's been irritating me since the beginning. So maybe that's just me and my issues. So I don't know. Well, what did you think about that part?
The sister friend was right to pack up her stuff and like, hey, where's my taxi? I'm out of here. I'm out of here. But the sister friend, Irene, let me use her name, Irene, Irene gave me the sense of, or reminds me that you cannot fight harder than the person is willing to fight for themselves.
Exactly.
I can't have this vitriol and yelling and screaming at this man when clearly Diamond is not going to fight because she's on this show hoping for a relationship with this man. So, like I said on Jay's live last night, if I was Irene, I'd be looking at my friend Diamond and like, girl, what you doing? Or what in the world did he say to convince you that this relationship was still a good idea? Because it's
That's what
yeah,
I was gonna say. That's what I want to know because I mean, because that's why I'm kind of thinking Diamond must be in a sunken place because I don't understand how you you think that what he did was okay.
right. And this is before foot rubs. So foot
That
rubs
right.
did not influence you.
Hmm.
So again, you can't fight harder than the person is willing to fight for themselves. And another piece it tells me is there are lots of times when we constantly go to our friends about the bad in our relationship, when we need support, when we need help with something or the bad thing our partner did. And we leave them with that bad cup of tea. And then we go back to our partner and we remedy the situation. We forgive each other and the relationship is back on track. Yet the friend is still holding that bitter cup of tea that we done served. You don't Most people don't go back to the friend and say, "Hey, we have fixed this. I appreciate you being there to hear me out and support. I don't wish for you to carry this baggage for me." We we almost never do that. So the friend is waiting there to pour the hot tea out on the person who did something to you in their protection mode. And that's what it seems like to me. But we can't protect our friends more than they're willing to protect themselves. If
Yeah.
your friend did not say, let's ride at dawn, then keep your behind at home.
I don't
And
just maybe say the right at dawn.
right, it's a ride at dawn moment. It's like Irene was ready and did not get the call, but she was already riding.
She got the bat signal, but Batman didn't, or whoever needed help didn't actually send the bat signal. What you're saying? So for all those superhero fans out there, so
Right,
but
she was
yeah, no,
ready. Irene was ready. I'm here. I came for battle, but she did not get the battle call.
I mean that's exactly it. 'Cause that's why I don't come to people's rescue unless they ask me for help. I mean, because you want me to risk my life for you, because of what? Because you
Right. I need to know what are you doing to help yourself? What are you doing to rectify this situation?
mm,
So, Irene, I applaud you with wanting to help and protect your friend, but this is not the way to do it. And your friend doesn't look like she wants to be protected from this decision. So you say just be there to support her, and
mhm.
that's about it. But Diamond to say, "Will you stand with me or whatever?" This should have been the conversation you had before you invited this friend to the house. I just need
Exactly.
you to support me. I just need you to be there, get your little camera time, and just keep it cute. This is before, not the aftermath. Especially since Aaron said, uh, if you bring this friend, it'll be a problem, and you still bring the friend.
Mm.
And don't tell her, store your weapons. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Diamond put them both in that situation. It put everybody in that situation. And it was interesting that the producer's like, I'll go talk to your friend. It's like the friend can go. Irene can go.
Because I'm still upset you brought innocent kids into this. I'm still upset about that. I'm sorry. Like what the kids do to you, girl. Like they in this mess. Like why in your raggedy kids still? I'm like, girl, the kids had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry. That annoyed me to my core when she brought the kids. And I'm still gonna bring it up until she apologizes for that because that's not right. I'm sorry. Like, I get it. He was yelling at you. That wasn't right of him to do. He called you a B. He called you ugly and all that stuff. I get it. I get it. I understand. I would be upset about that too. But don't be bringing kids who didn't force their way into your situation and bring them into the conversation. So I'm sorry. That annoys me because that just annoyed me, and I'm sorry. I kind of had to go a little rant on there because I
I
kind of
didn't
kind of
care.
said it.
I didn't care. I didn't care about that. I don't care that someone who doesn't know my children has anything to say about them. I don't care. You can rant and rave and carry on about my kids, my mother, whatever. It's disrespectful, but it's not going to rise me up to want to get at you because you don't know my family. You don't know my family. So anything you're saying is immaterial and is a clear indication of who you are. That's why it
Right.
won't rile me up. You could talk whatever you want to say. You don't know. Now, if you know my kids and you're saying that, it's like, there's a respectful way to argue. And you shouldn't be bringing up, I'm not bringing up your kids. The same thing like Chris was saying, we're not calling each other names. I don't want to be, called out my name. It's like, just don't bring the family into this. We are having an argument. But you
And
see,
that's
that's
why and that's why I got upset because, like, well, I mean, he didn't bring her family into this. So why exactly is she bringing his family into it? I mean, she can have her feelings about her what he was telling her or saying whatever about her because he brought. I mean, they're the ones speaking to each other, so I get it. But I mean, that's why I didn't like the whole bringing up the kids part because what does it have to do with anything?
talking about your mom and your kids is low hanging fruit in a conversation. Low hanging fruit. Just like the Millie and the B word and size matters. That's low hanging fruit in a conversation. That tells me you lack intelligence in an argument. I'll just sit back for any fans of The Wire. I'll do the Weebay, the meme. Oh, that's where you going. Okay, I'm gonna just sit here and watch you carry on.
I guess. I mean, maybe I just feel too much about a way about it. So
No, you feel how you feel. I just know that people say those things to get you riled up and get you mad and to lash out. And they're poking at different things. Okay, said about your mama. Oh, that didn't trigger. Well, let me talk about your kids. Well, maybe that didn't trigger. I'll keep poking. She kept moving to the next thing and kept poking for him to lash out. But again, you just gotta be calm in who you are. And yeah, mama may be like, why didn't you say anything? It's like, mama, that woman don't know you. So whatever she says about you is immaterial and is not correct. So why would I fight based on a lie? But that's just me.
okay, I don't think there was anything else with Aaron. Um,
You going to talk about the bed situation when we get to
um,
Jody and Aaron J?
yeah,
Okay.
sure. Um, well, we can talk about Joanna and Aaron J now entirety, and then we can get rid of or kind of touch on the whole bed situation with Aaron H too, since we were kind of talking about them. But um,
She is wearing the Jody necklace and you still refuse to call her Jody.
yes. I'm sorry. I refuse. She was given her governmental name Joanna, so I'm gonna call her Joanna. Okay. I don't know her last name, but I mean that's kind of besides the point. Her full first name is Joanna, so I mean I don't care if she's okay with people calling her Jody. I'm gonna call her Joanna because that is her first full name. So I guess it's just me and my whole issues with my first name. So I'm like, I will just call her Joanna. So
So who we on to them now?
yeah.
I,
What was the first thing about them? I don't. I mean, I think it was the fact that they his dad came. Maybe am I wrong about that one?
yeah, his
Or
dad
no,
came.
no, no. First it was no, never mind. I'm confusing myself. Never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, his dad came and her friend came. I love the energy of the friend. Um, I like that the friend and the dad were kind of like on the same page. Like, we're here for you. The friend is like, this ain't you, but she was understanding. She was like, oh, you trying something new. You really want this to work. Even if the friend don't believe it, it's like, oh, okay, I see where you're going with this. She never interjected like, I don't think you should be doing this, or, since this ain't you, it ain't gonna work out. The friend was like, oh, okay, I see where you're going. No, no analysis beyond that. Asking questions. What do you want from this? Is he, providing the safety net that you kind of want? I like the friend. Even when the friend was telling Aaron J that he missed the mark with the salsa, she was quite gentle with him. She's like, yeah, you fumbled that. And left it at that. Left it at that. I like the friend. I like the dad. The dad was like, people in your business, don't let people in your relationship. They come in with their own baggage, with their own issues. If the two of you on the same page, let it be known. And I think the dad also had insight on kind of doing a reset for them, because she seemed low energy. Then her friend came and it seemed to perk up a bit, and then she seemed dejected when it's like, oh, talk to my haters before coming here. And the dad was really pumping good energy into the space. And then the dance, I think, took it over the edge for her. And she just, I saw a different Jody.
Hmm.
I saw more of Jody. I liked what I saw. I never questioned them not being in the same room. I did question the lack of, affection, even holding hands or being in each other's presence all the time. But now I kind of understand why it makes sense for them. Now I understand why she doesn't want somebody up under her all the time.
I'm starting to see that a little bit too, but I still don't believe she is into him like that. Unfortunately, given even though I do feel like I understand her a little bit better. I don't think it's gonna end well, unfortunately, because she's not being honest with herself, at least as far as Aaron goes, and so um, he started. I mean, and this is what I was trying to say a couple weeks ago with Aaron is that I don't think that he is as happy as he lets on, and he is not as okay with how she seems to have more of a rapport with Chris than she does with him. And he was smiling up in people's faces, acting like he was okay when he wasn't. Um, and that's not to say that I think that something will happen anymore with them. If given the chance, I don't necessarily think that something will happen. I just don't believe that he's as okay with it as he was trying to portray a couple weeks ago. And I feel like now we're starting to see it a little bit with him trying he with his like solo confessionals. I feel like he's starting to say it a little bit more, even if he doesn't flat out say it. And so I just don't have faith that they're like she's really into him as much as she's claiming. Because as you said, we're not seeing them even sit close to each other, or kind of even hold hands a little bit. I mean, I understand the whole hit when later in an episode we saw him push the bed together, closer together, and in the next morning he was about to kiss her on the forehead. I understood her in that aspect where, you know, I don't want people doing that because that's a trauma response, and I'll give her that. And I believed her in that act when she said that. But a forehead kiss when I'm sleeping is a lot different than holding hands when I'm awake. So she can't even do that. That's a far cry from going to the boom boom room and having sex. It's a far cry from that. So that's why I don't necessarily believe that she is being honest with herself.
I think she likes what Aaron J represents, a very calm, personable man, a very a, a very attentive man that will listen and respond with kindness when you do share a hurtful experience. I think she likes what he represents. Now, if he is the kind of man that can or she will allow to draw her out of this, we just don't know yet. And maybe she knows, but she is working through it. My thing with the bed and the bedroom and all of that is, in order to get closer, Aaron J could have been in my assessment, but I don't know how she feels about it. Could have been in that room with her on another bed far away, and we could just talk to each other while the room is dark, and just talk to
Mhm.
each other before we go to sleep. There could be no, hand holding, forehead kiss or anything, but we could certainly be in each other's presence. We could certainly end the day talking to each other and begin the day, and that could get us, closer physically and, you know, mentally, as far as intimacy, because it'll, take you back to maybe innocent teenage years when you're talking on the phone till all hours of the morning. But I think she likes what he represents, and that he can listen and help her through that, but she's focused a lot on what she needs, and I'm not hearing focus on what Aaron J needs.
Mhm.
It's like, and even when he's talking, hey, Jody needs this, Jody needs that. The one thing he says, he doesn't like a clinger. Okay, that's fine. But that's about it. I don't hear, he needs to hold a hand. It could be like, hey, can we hold hand at dinner? Could we after dinner sit down and talk and hold hands? And that's it. To kind of like give it time to move along, give it progress. You don't have to hold my hand all day, but can we, walk the grounds after dinner kind of thing, the old courting ways, to kind of get her used to your presence, because to get her used to your presence, you have to be present.
Mhm.
And uh, I can feel it for both of them. I can really feel it for both of them. And I'm very happy that Jody was comfortable sharing with Shay, Josh, and Chris. And I want to say Diamond was there, but I can't remember. But
I
I know,
don't remember her being there. I think it was just Shay, Josh, and Chris.
yeah. And I think after the fact, and I hate to say it's after the fact, then Chris apologized. I was happy he did. But it showed the three of them like, hey, y'all are trying to push people together, but you could be pushing a trauma response. You didn't think
Mhm.
about the other party in this. And being that Chris and Jody, see eye to eye or whatever, Chris should have been able to go to Jody and say, "Yo, Jody, I'm gonna need you to kidnap Aaron J for at least a night for me, please. You know how it is. You know what I need. I need you to kidnap him for a bit, you know." And I'm sure she would have been like, "Okay, I'm gonna let you have your time with your girl," something like that. But I just didn't see any conversations with Jody, and that's what hurt me the most. It's like, oh my gosh, it brought me, and I know it's my mind, and it brought me into everything that a woman doesn't have control of. It's like, right now we're having the reproductive issue talk, we're having all these things, and now the woman doesn't have control of whether you can lay next to her or not. It gave me a visceral reaction, especially when we were not presented with a conversation with Jody. I did agree with Jay last night. Jay, brought it to the forefront that Jody was more concerned about, hey, you came into my space, and kiss on the forehead was her main issue, and that he allowed other people to change his behavior. But, Aaron J just I saw him as just a little overzealous. It's like, oh, okay, I get to lay next to her. She didn't kick up a fuss. Oh, I get to lay close to her. She didn't kick up a fuss. Maybe I could do this too.
And that's kind of where, I mean, I understand he crossed the boundary, but I also feel like if he didn't feel the way if he didn't think what Aaron H and all the other guys were saying, I really don't think he would have done what he did if he didn't feel on some level what they were saying was like, or he was already thinking, I should say, like what they said was already what he was thinking. So that's kind of why, that's also kind of why I was, you know, thinking that he is not saying as much as he wants to say, and this is where I think maybe he has an issue. Well, clearly has an issue expressing himself. I mean, at least it seems that way to me. I don't know about anybody else, but he seems like I had a very hard time expressing himself. And he doesn't sound like he had a bad upbringing, like a very abusive childhood. It's just like, and how Kojo's been doing on his channel about how even if you didn't have like a very abusive, like an abusive childhood, you could still have been brought up to in a way that you don't um, verbalize all that well. Because I didn't come from a background where I was abused in any sort of in any use of the word, like physically or mentally or verbally or anything like that. But I still found myself not verbalizing all that well. So yeah, I mean, I'd like him to explain more about his background, but if he's not wanting to share that, then obviously we can only speculate about what that might be. So, I mean,
Yeah, I would definitely be interested because his dad seems to be very open, and he talked about it, that his dad knew when he was coming of age. His dad knew different things and came to him and talked about it. And it seems like they have, a rapport. And it could be that they have a rapport now in their grown age. And it seems like they can speak to each other. And the dad seems to be coming from a understanding rather than a judgmental place.
mm-hmm.
I would be very interested to know. Very interested. Dad seems to be a peacekeeper. Like, let's keep the peace, let's try to understand each other, and let's block out the noise. And I did appreciate that about the dad. I'm sorry, they've had the best family visit or best friends visit that really poured into their relationship. I really liked it. And then he go and screw it up.
Right. We're growing right now.
it's like the salsa dancing. It's like, oh, I know salsa, da da da, and then you go mess it up. It's like, I hate to say it, and I'm saying it in a manner of salsa dancing. I don't want anybody to twist it. I think there's a he alluded to it as well. I think there's a little performance anxiety there.
Mm,
I think there's a little bit of that, but you got to work through that. That may be where his, lack of confidence is coming in.
true, true. Could be very well what's going on. Or part of it anyway. Not gonna say it's the whole thing. Um,
But yeah, Daddy can dance. But Daddy had years to practice. Daddy probably taught him. That's why he's supposed to know better.
right? But he stopped lessons at like after like the first two or three when he was 8 or whatever. So it's like I'm done with that. I don't
That
like being on the spot. So
right. If Daddy was his teacher and I was his father, I'd be like, "Let me see your salsa dance, because I know I taught him how to dance real good. I know I taught him. You must have given him some butterflies that got to his feet, Jody." I'd have said something like that.
well, anything else on Joanna and Chris? Or sorry, Joanna and Aaron. Sorry.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, I did. I
I
I was think I was thinking about going to them next. That's why I said his name by accident.
I think I appreciate Jody going to him and having a good conversation about what happened and how she felt about it. I think that was very, very good. She was able to have a Why are they the only calm ones having conversations around here too?
I don't know. I
Eh,
mean,
But I appreciated her. She's like, I gotta get my thoughts together. Get myself together. Hey, this is the problem I had. And as his dad told him, she will tell you. She will have no problem telling you. Just gotta listen. But I do need him, or at least to be shown that he is also his needs in the relationship are also being met.
this is where I think maybe she is cling cling on to dear life for a little bit of her trauma. I'm not saying she has to be over it 100%. I don't know if necessarily you can get over something like that 100%. But I think she's definitely using. She might be using it as a crutch. Maybe a, l- a little bit too much. And so this is where I think she needs to separate from Aaron because I don't think she realizes she's doing that. I mean, she's just doing it unintentionally. She obviously doesn't know she realizes she's doing it, but um, because she's not focusing, she's not trying to focus on Aaron and what he wants. So it's just really about him or her, sorry. And so I don't know. That's all. That's everything else I had about her.
Yeah, yeah. I like this episode with Jody. It For anyone who had the opinion of her like Aaron H had, it humanized Jody this episode. And she did make a point like, I can get loud, I can say stuff you don't like, but what I won't be is disrespectful. And I could see that. I haven't seen her be disrespectful. And unless Sandia says she's been disrespectful, I haven't seen her disrespectful to folks in the house. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. So next up, Sandia and Chris. Initial thoughts on them.
Well, I was glad. Well, I was interesting to see Sandy and Chris be snuggled up at night.
Right. I wasn't thinking that they ever did, but surprise, surprise.
Yeah, surprise, they snuggled up at night. It's like, and she want Aaron J out the room too. I was like, wait a minute, Sandy, girl. But she's probably one of those, folks that, hey, my relationship, behind closed doors is going to be one thing, and what we present to the world is going to be something else. But um, Chris was open to the conversation with Millie, very open to the conversation. He started off very respectful, and he simply said, we can argue, we can not see eye to eye, but just don't call me out of my name. And then he's like, "Well, after a certain amount of pushing, you're gonna push, and I'm gonna say something." And he said a word that also should not be used to describe someone. Um, Chris, I should say, Chris got it from both ends of the stick this week, as far as he got pushed to one limit with Millie and communication and name calling. And when he thought he was doing something for good intentions with Jody, it kind of backfired because he's kind of traumatizing someone that he says he's very, very cool with. So Chris is kind of like his pendulum is swinging this week. I don't know why it had to be a whole open forum when Chris could have just gone to Jody and like, hey, I need you to vacate the room, or tell the people in the boom boom room y'all need to vacate because y'all are hoarding the place. We need a schedule. That should have been the town hall meeting. We need a schedule because certain people be running to the boom boom room before anybody else has a chance to. Not that I want to be in the boom boom room because I don't know the cleaning situation of it, but the appropriate tact of it and the reason for it is it's available to everyone. I would have been saying, hey, y'all four who've been living up in the boom boom room, I'm gonna need y'all to vacate at least for one night. You can't have consecutive nights at the boom boom room. That's how I would have said
It was a town hall meeting for me, so
it. Well, they had the men's lounge in the living room to talk about who should be sleeping with their person, or talk about Aaron J moving out. But it's like town hall should be for town hall business. The boom boom room is community property, and people be using it and keeping it like if it's their personal bedroom. Like
not
no,
town
no,
hall, not community property. Like, what is this Monopoly?
exactly. It's community. It's community property. They said anybody who wishes for more intimate setting with their partner, go there. And here come Chris and Sandia. They can't even get on the roster.
Mm.
But
Well, I
I
guess
did.
maybe not surprising. So, because they kind of started out late, so I guess I kind of understand. But
It's like you got to
yeah.
forego dinner and run to the room to get it first.
I mean,
But I like
oh,
Sandia. I liked her speaking up for Chris in that moment with Millie, letting Millie know, hey, that was not the way to go. Calling names, I don't like it. Please don't do it. And it's kind of like that woman to woman conversation. So it was lovely to see Sandia use her voice, still as gentle as she is, but it's wonderful for her to speak and be heard in the group setting. That I appreciated. So I was like, "Oh, Sandia, didn't know you had it in you." But she also pulled Chris away. Chris allowed her to pull him away and have the conversation. She listened to him. She let him let it all out. She even let him use her jacket. But golly, yeah, Chris got beaten up on two ends, or I should say bruised on two ends of the spectrum this week.
mm, Yeah, I liked how he went into the conversation with Millie, and then it went into hell in a handbasket as soon as he said what he said. So, like, again, I was rooting for you. I was rooting for you. Then he had to go and mess that all up. So, ugh, that's all I got for them. That's all I can muster at the moment because I don't. This is looking a little bit too good to be true with the rest of it, as far as they're concerned. So, I'll I'll just wait with bated breath to see what happens with them in the coming episode. Because there's four more. Because there's 10. I was looking at it last night to see how many episodes are supposed to be. There's 10, and this is episode 6, so there's four more left. So unsure if they're gonna get like any sort of reunion episode or anything. I don't know if they said anything about that, but with these last four episodes, I'm gonna keep my eye on them because they got off in the molten lava core Earth, and they didn't get to the surface until this episode, unfortunately. So um, I'm not that enthusiastic that they will be anything less than toxic by the time we get to present day with them. So um, that's like I said, that's all I can really muster at the moment. Anything else that you want to touch on with them?
No, not with Chris and Sandia. It is just I don't know how I thought it was cute. He said I'm using her jacket to come out here. I ain't gonna freeze out here and be shivering while y'all want to talk.
Oh, I did write a note saying about how he was telling Sandia that him and Millie were officially enemies. That took me out. I was like, not you're officially enemies now. Because what in the world? Like, what are we in a superhero movie or something? 'Cause that was so odd to say that. I was like, of all the things to say, that's the thing you want to say. Like we're officially enemies now. Like we're in Wonder Woman or Batman or Superman movie or something. I don't know. I was like, what? Like, please be for real right now. Stop it. Stop with the clownish behavior. I'm so sorry. That was just so weird to me. But yeah, sorry. That's the actual last thing I want to talk about with them. So um Jay and Josh, nothing happened. So I mean, unless you have something that you want to talk about with them, I'm just gonna move right past them, like really quickly, and then go to Greg and Millie if you don't have
Josh is
anything
just
else.
complaining he washing all the dishes around here.
Well, it probably is, and it wouldn't be that surprising if it was. So, but
There's the third set of stuff that I'm washing up today. He let it be known that the kitchen chores are not being equally distributed. But my guy, the boom boom room hours are not being equally distributed. Okay, maybe this is your penance.
that's just karma for using the room all the time.
When you come out the boom boom room, you need to wash up. That's what that symbolizes.
Uh, uh, I hope he does a deep clean of that boom boom room. That's all I'm gonna say. Like he needs to be the one that does a deep clean, not anybody else. Can't pawn it off for someone else to clean. So yeah, okay. Anyways, Greg and Millie, last but not least, certainly but not least. So they sure was. Well, Millie was doing a lot. I don't know about Greg. 'Cause Greg was trying to wrangle in Millie, but he wasn't doing a whole bunch. But except trying to keep the peace, it was Millie was doing all the fussing and fighting.
Did Greg ask Millie if she was ready to talk?
When at the end or when she was pulling her away from Chris.
Meaning he went to Chris and say, "Hey, when you have a chance, you have a moment
Oh,
to talk to Millie." And Chris is like, "Yeah, man, sure." And did he do the same for Millie? I mean, or is it like, "Hey, Millie, Chris ready to talk?" Because she came in kind of defensive. Because
mm,
she came in kind of screaming, you know, Greg didn't prepare me for this, or Greg just popped this on me. Not saying her attitude was right either way, but if we're having a conversation and, as Chris like, we don't see eye to eye, you don't like me, and that's okay. Can you please just not call me out of my name? Yeah, I call you that. And so what? What are you gonna
mm.
do
So, so you're asking if Greg pulled the Kateko from South Africa
then? Yes,
Ultimatum, essentially.
yes, yes, he did. Perfect example for those who watch the Ultimatum South Africa on Netflix. I'm
Yeah,
going
I
to take
finally
you
caught
to
up
the
to everything.
I'm going to take you to the person, and I'm going to leave you there to fight the battle. I'm not going
I
to
mean,
moderate. I'm not going to facilitate. That's between
whew,
you and you. But
that was
nah,
wild.
yep.
That was so wild. I felt so bad for. Sorry for a tangent here, but I felt so bad for SZA. I felt so bad for her. I was like,
Hmm.
oof, Chile. That was. I got secondhand embarrassment from her through the screen. I would have. I'm not even gonna finish that thought because I might get in trouble for that. So never mind. But yeah, Kateko was really terrible for that, and so was Greg for. I mean, obviously it didn't get to the point where. Well, no, because there was still name calling involved because on ultimatum, still name calling was ensued, but it's just that it was on more so on one person's side than both. So yeah, either way, it was still bad. But
I think Greg was like, I don't want to get in the middle of it. Let two adults have a conversation and kind of square it away. I think that's where Greg was coming from. But again, everyone in this house really doesn't know each other, and they're still
mm,
learning their partner. So my thing with Greg is, I understand what he was trying to be a peacekeeper, but sometimes I think he didn't read her energy that, even walking in to the room, she was ready for a fight. And maybe he should stay there and maybe hold her hand to calm her down. But, Greg didn't want to choose sides. I understand. But when she was doubling down,
mm. He
it
said, "You get a B and you get a B and you get a B." I'm like, okay, calm down, girl, please. Nothing of you.
it's like you cannot admit you were wrong. You were wrong for calling him that. You may think he is, but to call him that is, insulting. That is, whew, taking an attack on his manhood. It is just coming at him on several levels. But it's like, why? Because of perceived disrespect that he didn't wish for you to speak in that moment. And because you cannot speak or you cannot be heard, you go into attack mode. Why? You got to dig deep to find out why. It brings to mind like if you're speaking in a movie theater and somebody shushes you, are you going to pop off because you can't be heard? It was just a reaction of it. I understand you felt disrespected, and there's a way to say, "Hey, Chris, I'd like to speak my piece. This is what I see." Or if you're like, "Yo, no, you're not going to breeze over me. I have something to say," and you say it there and you squash it. But it kept on, and it's like, yeah, I said it, and what? So why would you think to verbally spar or fight with a man? It's kind of like how we look at Aaron H. Kind of odd. You're trying to verbally spar with a woman. it's not the thing. Is that a hill or to fight on? It's like he's just saying
According to
don't.
her, it's a hill to die on. So I mean,
Oh,
I don't know.
I'm like, girl. And then because he's walking away, you call him the word again. The conversation has devolved where you can't listen. You're allowed to say your piece, and the way you say your piece is yeah, and what now? And it's like, okay, he's like, you gearing up for a fight, and this is where men always have to be aware and tread lightly. That, hey, I'm in this room with this woman. She's antagonizing. Let me leave. Let me leave before she pops off and either puts her hands on me or worse. And because he's leaving an argument, when did leaving an argument make you weak? that to me, that to me does not compute. Standing and fighting, you want him to fight you to prove he's not weak. But you're still
I
going to
think
call him that because he's fighting a woman. Make it make sense. How has Chris come out of this either way?
I
Either
think
way.
for
Go ahead.
her, she's seen a lot of people. I mean, this could be before or after her essay, but um, I think she's seen a lot of people. And didn't someone say that she was from New Jersey or something like that? I'm not saying that obviously this is like because she grew up in New York and New Jersey, but like I thought I heard someone say that she was from New Jersey or something like that,
You giving the
and I
LaRon
guess
argument?
yes, because I think for her for people like them where they had a tough upbringing, they saw people fighting a lot physically, maybe, and maybe even verbally. And for them, gets leaving is a sign of looking like, in LaRon's terms, like a simp or like you're be made or something. Unfortunately, I think that's what maybe is going in her mind. I think I don't know. I can't say with 100% certainty, but given the fact that they're both from the same area, essentially a group in the same area, I think that, and they had such a tough upbringing, that's what maybe go was going through her mind, unfortunately. Now, obviously, it's not right. I'm just saying that that could maybe explain why. Um, and she's gonna need to work on it because she's also someone I feel like is using her essay as a serious crutch. And she even said herself she is in her masculine and doesn't know how to let Greg just be him and let him lead and do stuff for her. Um, I forgot what the term she used was, but
But would she respect feminine energy? Because she doesn't respect Sandia.
she sure didn't because she just sure did say that she was minded.
Right.
Not that it's funny, but I mean, it's just
Right.
ironic that she doesn't like that Chris calls her weak minded, but she's saying it. Okay, yeah.
Right. But she wants to rest in her feminine and she doesn't know how to blah blah blah. First she has to respect feminine energy and not the masculine fighting stance. So that would be my thing is you got to respect it and see the strength in it. Fighting it, fighting head on ain't the only way to fight.
And she's not at that point, unfortunately. I don't know that she's just not there, and I don't know if she's gonna get there anytime soon. So it seemed like she was in previous episodes, but seeing this episode, yeah, it doesn't look like she's anywhere near that at all. So um She really is the one that needs to sit on the bench and heal, Kojo would say. So I'm like, oof, like
First, you need to build that bench.
not she got a build, she bought the builder. Oh my god. Oh, that was so foul.
The building the bench is going to let out the energy and the steam. The pound the hammer to the nails is going to let the steam out and get all of that anger out first, and then she can rest on that bench.
I mean, if that's what you feel like she has to do, then I guess so. But that took me. I was like, not you say that she needs to build a bench first. I mean, maybe that's what people need to do. Is like, if they don't have a bench for themselves, they need to do it. They need to build one for themselves. So, I mean, I guess I just wasn't ready. That's all.
You had me dying with that one. I was like, wait a minute, yeah, I did say it like that. Oh, okay, let me rewind.
um, and then she want to interrupt him, interrupt Greg when she's like when they were in front of the expert, and she was explaining a little bit about her background with her essay, and I was just like, please calm down. Like I get it, I get it. You were you wanted to sort of talk about it, but he was trying to empathize with you. He was trying to empathize with you, and because I mean, I don't know what type of trauma he's been through. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be SA himself, but I mean, he was clearly trying to empathize with you and about to share. And I don't even know if he's going to share from um, the fact that we didn't see anything this episode. So we might not feel safe to want to share with her now because she's doing all this extra stuff. So I need you to calm down, please.
I agree. If I were Greg, I would not feel like sharing. This would not be where I would be sharing at all. I wouldn't feel comfortable sharing with her
I mean,
at
he
all.
can try to share in a solo confessional, but to her, no, he shouldn't do it. At least not right now.
Not right now, and I don't think she's ready to hear him out
Mm,
either because
no.
the therapist was doing what a therapist does, and that kind of tells me maybe you're not attending therapy, as you're saying. The thing is that she saw that Greg had a reaction to Millie sharing. And as a
Hmm.
therapist, she's like, okay, where did he go? And she knew. I mean, she's been doing this for a while. She knew and possibly wanted him to feel comfortable enough sharing in this moment so that Millie can see that he too has his own struggles and y'all can support each other and you could see him in a new light. I was very proud of Greg in that when she was sharing, he let it rest. He let it rest there. He spoke to her. I am here for you. Um, I'm glad that you shared this with me. I am with you. Greg was sitting there with her, even though I don't need no man. I don't want you to do it. I don't need you to do this. He was wiping her tears and there for her. And she was, caught up in the telling and the hurt, so she doesn't recognize it. But now we're in a space with a therapist. It is the appropriate time to share. He was asked to share, and you've got the face, face. Oh, now you got a trauma. You got a trauma since I said I had a trauma. Now you got one too. It was like I don't think she sees herself. It wasn't the oh, what have you been through? It was the how dare you share when I'm sharing. This is my time.
Exactly. Hmm. She's like, you have all the audacity and omega gall to have to bring up your trauma. Something, I mean, and that's something I kind of, I mean, not what she did, but what with Greg, that's kind of where I struggle. I think a little bit with bringing up, trying to bring up anything that I kind of want to kind of empathize or sympathize or whatever, whichever word you want to use. Where's Sean when you need him to give you a dictionary version of what it means? Um, but yeah, so sometimes I worry that if I share, they're gonna pull what Millie did and be like, "How dare you?" Basically, share what you're trying to share when it's supposed to be all about me. So sometimes I feel like that. I mean, it's not all the time, but I mean, I think maybe lately I've realized this that so at least sometimes I worry about that. So that can, I hope, if nothing else, he can speak to that therapist privately without her there and explain what was going on in his head at the time when Millie was speaking because um yeah, I don't, like we said, I don't think he should be sharing about what he's going through to her face right now, or at least at the time of when it was filming, because this was 2 years ago. So, um, I mean, if he decides he wants to share it in the future, or since this has been filmed, or even in the future if he hasn't, more power to him. But the way Millie is still set up, or was still set up at that time, he shouldn't have been saying anything to her.
That was her moment to practice her feminine energy. That was a moment. When she was sharing, he sat there and he held her hand, put his, had human contact to let her know he was there. When he starts to share, when he's asked to share, she pushes him away. She pushes him away. Sorry if y'all hear my dogs because delivery is being made.
Hmm.
Um, she just pushes him and doesn't want to hear it. And it's like you would like someone to be there for you, you got to be there for them as well. I don't know if she's just not open to um anyone understanding or being able to commiserate with what she has gone through, or is it just you're sharing now, or is it just a man could never be on the same level of a traumatic experience? I don't know where it is for her, but it was not welcoming. It was like, this is why 30 minutes away and I still can't reach you. I'm sitting next to you here and I still can't emotionally reach you. That's what it's giving. It's giving, I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it. Ain't nothing you got to say that I want to hear. It just, I felt in that moment for Greg, I was like, ooh, Greg. I would have clammed up real quick if I was Greg. But hopefully, therapists do have a way that they can mediate the situation and still make you feel comfortable. But Greg knows he got to go back in the house and live with her.
Hmm.
He knows as soon as the therapist is gone, I got to go back and live with her. and she handing out B cards. So I don't want to get my own.
Oh,
I don't want to
man.
get my own card and and be kicked out of here. Call me baby Lenny Kravitz, but don't call me the B word.
Okay, okay. Again, wasn't ready. Anyways, but yeah, I'm hoping that whatever it is he had gone through, I'm hoping he has been working on it and he's in a better headspace about it at the very least, if um so that way he's not just sitting there with it. So mm. Oh, I forgot to mention that Aaron J has a son, or was it? He had a son, right? Or has a son. Is
Yeah,
that
he
correct?
has a son. I think he's mentioned it before in passing.
I don't remember
He,
that.
oh,
I'm
like in our
like,
introductions to him, I want to say either him or Jody. It Everybody says seems like a surprise, but for me it wasn't. I don't know why. I'll have to go back and look. I'll have to go back and look. Maybe it's in his bio. I don't know.
yeah, sorry, I just remember that like a second ago. I was like, he has a son. I don't remember that. I remember on a different show, Summer House Martha Jr., that one guy from the season one had recently had like a 3 month old that he just had, and but honestly, um I don't remember Aaron J saying he has a son, but
I
um
think too, Aaron J, because he's younger than her. I now remember that. That could be his insecurity too. He's younger than her.
mm, I don't remember that part, but I guess I always assume that the man's older than the woman, so maybe I just forgot. Um,
I
but
just assume everybody got kids until they tell me they don't.
so, so, I mean, like it's like here, surprise! I got a kid. Well, anyways, any other thoughts about this particular show?
I agree with you. Everybody just ain't ready for it. Everybody's not ready for a long-standing relationship. They got enough to work on. I just I just wish the show in general would not push the intimacy part or the push the physical intimacy part of things, and that the exercises that they do could be to push learning about each other. Learning about just learning to talk to each other. It would be best. I just don't like the pushing of the physical proximity. I know what they want to do. It's cute when you do it one time, but it seems like the past two times or three times we're talking about physical intimacy. There's more to it than that. I gotta be at least mentally close enough or accepting enough for you to even get anywhere close to me to kiss me on my forehead before I wake up. Okay?
I'm not gonna be mad at that. I mean, yeah. I want to kind of talk about the ultimatum a little bit for a second because I finished every single episode so far, and I wanted to kind of talk about it for a second.
Okay.
So
Don't forget
it
I'm with
was
don't forget tonight I'm with actually Aubrey podcast talking about it.
so it's tonight, okay.
Yes, 6:30.
But I kind of wanted to touch on it a little bit. Ugh, I ugh. Kanya, Sweetie Pie, Honey Bunches. If you're listening, please get away from Kateko because you clearly do not like that man. You do not like that man. I'm sorry. Um, and sorry to say, you're acting a little abusive towards him and SZA too. So I need you to kind of just take a step back and survey what you've seen and stop because and learn how to cope better with things that you don't like because that was so sad. Um, and I don't like how because just like with Lisa and Brian on, I believe it was the second season of the U.S. version of the Ultimatum. Lisa wanted Brian to marry her, but he didn't, and they still ain't married as far as I can tell. The last I heard that they were not married, and you were hooting and hollering about how you did not want to have a baby out of wedlock, but here you are with a baby out of wedlock. So I'm gonna need you to make some sense because it's not math. The math not math for me. Um, and yeah, I'm sorry that it's kind of say my piece on that one. Do you want to say like one or two things about it real quick, or do you want to just wait?
I don't think, and I'm going to say it tonight too with Actually Aubrey podcast. This show is not built culturally for South Africa. I don't think.
Mm,
Because the way they're talking about it is that the family has a say. The family has a bride price to present, and the family has to accept it, and you have to meet them at that level. This ultimatum is you get engaged right after the show. Either you stay to get engaged to get married, or you you depart.
hmm
I don't think that this was well done for them culturally because now you ask them to marry you, and now the two people, Genesis and is it Dahlia?
Tabi,
T-
Tabi.
Tabi. Genesis and Tabi. It's on pause. Love her pink hair. Absolutely love her pink hair. But I digress. And then Lindley and SZA, they're on pause. It's like, so what was the point? And then Courtney and Aiden are kind of on pause. And I know why they on pause because I want to make sure you can keep this job that you finally got. Sorry.
Sorry.
Understand why. And I don't understand giving a man an ultimatum and he ain't got a job. You know your daddy gonna ask him to have a job.
Yeah, I was kind of watching, and then the last few days see episodes 7 through 10, and I was also reading some stuff online, and I kept seeing people say that he didn't have it. I was like, what are you talking about? I thought he had a job. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard him say he didn't have one, so I was like, okay, yeah.
Why am I asking you to marry me and you can't afford to buy me a ring? Why am I asking you to make a decision on this relationship with an ultimatum and you don't have a job and thus you cannot buy me a ring? You can't even pay 50-50. Why am I asking for crumbs when you don't even have the toast?
And she wasn't. I believe she wasn't she was courting the one in one of the 7 year relationships.
Yes.
That-
How long has he gone without a job? And I understand where she's coming from. It's like, I've invested so much time. But if he's never had a job throughout this or never kept the job up while in this relationship, then it's Courtney's fault
Mhm.
that she keeping him around and even want to be married. But going back culturally with what is required to be married for them, I don't know if this is the setting for it. I don't know. Now, Ruth threw me for a loop because girl, that hair and everything was completely different. But you look good. Everybody looked good.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know what was
I
going
will
on.
say.
That Lindley was tuned out. He didn't even realize Lebo was breaking up with Nola. Oh my god.
He was like, "What's
What?
happening?"
What's happening?
He's like, "Said, what the hell's happening?" Like,
She broke up with him. He's like, oh. It was like, where were you? Where were you?
I that's that killed me too. I was like, okay, all right now. I mean, um,
But yeah, that was my thing. They all could have learned so much else. I wish they had made different decisions, and in this instance, I wish that maybe the casting could have picked the partner that they had. I do wish that because I do think that Isaac and Lebo would have been a different, experience for them. And maybe, I don't know, Genesis with Ruth would have been a different experience for them. I doubt they would have picked each other, but there's some people there I'm like, I know you're not going to be moved by the person that you're with. I just don't understand this. I'm in love with you, and it's only been like 2 weeks. I just don't. I think it's the sensory deprivation that you don't have your electronics and TV, and you're always in this person's face. Ooh, child. I've been in this relationship for months, and in 2 weeks, I'm in love with you. No, I'm in love with what you do. I'm in love with how I feel around you, but I ain't in love with you.
mm.
But I did love Thabby's hair. Oh my god, that pink. Oh, girl, look good.
I love the
Yeah.
short hair. I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with the pink, but I did love the fact that she had short hair. Um, so will say that I did love the shortcut. Um,
It's just so different, I guess, from the braids we knew her as having, and I knew something was up the minute Kenya was so quiet throughout the reunion. She was way too quiet. She didn't laugh. She didn't smirk. She had no expression, but quiet and just, how can I say
oh
it?
yeah,
Ba-
I knew about the baby like a while ago. I just didn't say anything.
No, but not
um,
the baby thing. I'm saying that she had no reaction. People were laughing about different things, even laughing about scissors, laugh. And Kanye was just frozen.
yeah, she was. I don't know if it's because of the postpartum part of it. Because at the time the baby was like what 3 months old. So it really hasn't been that long since she had the baby. So I don't know if it's just postpartum or if it's postpartum plus. She still hasn't gotten what she wanted out of Kateko, but um, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure she seems rather um, despondent, I would say.
And as you said, it could be that. It could be the first time a young mother is away from her child for a long time. It could be that, you know. I know I kind of felt that way anytime I had to put my kids in daycare or whatever, I'd be away from them the first time. So it could be that. But it was like no laugh or whatever. And I don't know with the whole SZA apologizing she should not have gone to her villa. It's like maybe it's the maybe it's the Americanization in me. Like, I didn't see a problem with it. I didn't walk into your home. I'm on the porch coming over to have a conversation. I didn't see it, and again, that may be a cultural thing. I didn't see it as disrespectful as it was made out to be. And all she apologized for was body shaming her. Kanya, dear, you did more than that. You did
I
more
mean,
than body shame her.
she called everybody a hood rat. I'm like, girl, what is this? Like who Miss Ma'am. I mean, I know you're not calling somebody a hood rat. Like I know you're not calling somebody a hood rat. Like please.
My thing is, just yelling at her and go, go, go. All of that. It's not just the body shaming. It's the body shaming. It's the yelling at her. It's a disrespectful thing. It's a disrespectful yelling and carrying on, the pointing of the finger. It's the, body proximity kind of forcing her to move off of your porch.
Hmm.
It was all the way around nasty. So I apologize for the body shaming. No, I think you would do it again.
Hmm.
I
I mean,
think
it's
you would.
exactly what happened with Lisa O'Brien's. Like Lisa didn't apologize to Rhea about um calling her a Hooters bee. I think is what she said, if memory serves me correctly. So, knowing full and dang all well she had the same exact job as Rhea did. So I'm like, yeah, um, yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I just was like, that seemed like a disingenuous apology, but maybe she doesn't know the steps to apologize, or the pieces of an apology. But because that was a piece of, oh my gosh, it was just a visceral reaction. And maybe again, my Western philosophy of you being on my porch is different. But if you won't leave my porch, I will just go inside, close my sliding door, lock it, close my drapes, and turn off the light on that deck. I don't have to engage. But I'm not going to be yelling at you and calling you names and da da da. Because that is now forever online. Because now, I'm sorry, who is he going to get into a relationship with? Who's going to want, I'm seriously going to ask, who's going to want to be in a relationship with him now? Knowing that this is the behavior of the mother of his child.
That you put up with.
If you think it ain't going to be baby mama drama with Kanye, please, please let him bring home a SZA and then decide to want to marry that lady. And now that lady is going to be interacting with her son. Oh Lord, no. I see, a whole lot of years of hurt for Kateko in that regard. Mm-mm-mm. And him saying that he'd never seen Kanye act like this before, I doubt it.
Lies.
I doubt that assessment. I think he's made excuses for it. Oh, it ain't that bad. Oh, she's just, having a bad moment. She's just hungry. That's why she's angry like that. That's not who she really is. I could see that. Him making excuses constantly. But that's her. That's her.
The lies, the lies, the lies. I'm sorry. Kind of had to go there. Sorry.
Okay, Candy. But if I was I was anywhere around there and single, there's no way that his DMs is pulling in some ladies who want to have any dealings with Kanye. And I would love to hear the conversation his mama had with him when he came home and said Kanye is having a baby.
My baby.
Oh Lord.
Mm. I bet you his mom was so disappointed because she was like, "Dang, now I ain't never getting rid of her."
Right. Right. And yeah, she was right to not accept the promise ring.
Hmm.
Because wait a minute, and I may need to be corrected. I don't know the promise ring as anywhere other than the Western Hemisphere. I don't know it.
You like cue Tiffany Evans song "Promise Ring," please, because what are we 12 years old?
Well, there are promise rings, in certain religious aspects, but I just wow, dude. Wow. It's like that was your moment to walk away. Unfortunately, you wouldn't have your wonderful child that you have now, but that was your cue to walk away. So, as we keep referencing Kojo and his channel Little Black Book 91, where's the mirror with these two?
Mm.
Where's the mirror?
That is a good question. Mm. Anyway, sorry, we kind of derailed from the actual show that we were talking about. So sorry. But yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about that for a second, like especially Kanye, because I was like, "Eh, girl, please." Yeah, I mean, she looks so sad on that couch. She look like you want to be anywhere but there, and that's to quite honest, I kind of felt on that. Like,
Well, maybe
sometimes I
she
feel
was
like that too.
expecting to be roasted. She should have been roasted. She should have been roasted. She was the villain of the
Hmm.
season, other than Nola. But even Nola wasn't roasted.
Right?
But I'll save my opinions about, Nola and Lebo, because I got fire for Lebo too. I'll save it for later.
Yeah. I almost talking about the Kanye, so I'm like, you know what? I died when Aiden o'clock at the reunion. He was like, I was like, no, because I was watching it in bed this morning when I woke up, and I was like, no, Aiden, why in the world you doing that? That was wrong. Like, I get you may not like this dude, but like, come on, you did not have to do all that. That was a little bit too much. So,
Hayden was
but
like, I got a job, y'all. Like, no,
and
Aiden.
I ain't being I my the spotlight ain't being shown on me. So like, oh, he really was being in this petty moment, petty era. Because I was like, that no, that's just or should is it sassy? Which one is it? I don't
I
know
don't
if there.
know. I,
I
I
don't know
don't
if
like,
there's any difference, but
yeah, I don't like using the sassy term, but I understand when it's applied. But it
anyway,
was like low hanging fruit, Aiden. You should have had a job. I wouldn't have been applauding him. It would have been like, how long you done kept this job, Aiden? It's been a year. Have you had the job for a year, or you just got the offer letter last week and you got a job? I, I'm
and
sorry.
we need to see the offer letter, unlike Michael in season 10 of Maps, who showed
Right.
that stupid offer letter, and the math really wasn't mathing for Mika because Mika is in a mathematical field where she deals with numbers all day. So the math better add all the way up. Um. So yeah, I mean, anyways. That was their River Mets and a little bit of a South Africa ultimatum. So I will definitely be trying to tune in for what time does she go live? What time is she on the
Six
East Coast or
thirty,
West Coast?
6:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Actually, Aubrey POD.
Okay. Okay, I'll definitely try to. Um,
I'm an infant in these YouTube streets. We're going to try and simulcast it on mine too, but I'm an
I have
infant.
no idea how that. I mean, if you want me to try to figure it out for you,
No, we could
before
talk offline. I'm just saying, we just gonna be trying a few things.
maybe you could ask Jr. because he does it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He
I'm
sings
hoping
his on
JR
simultaneously
is
with her.
I'm hoping JR is on this. I'm not sure if he can be, but um
Um,
I'm hoping he is as well. Give some perspectives. I always butt in on his live with her.
um, I mean, I mean, I'm following him on Instagram, so he was active an hour ago, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
exactly what he's doing
I
at the
think
moment,
I
but
think basketball his priority would be where he is.
so I mean, yeah, I mean, you can because I have no idea because I obviously don't I've never streamed on someone else's channel before, so I mean, I got to figure it out, but I mean, I know
Well,
JR does it,
we'll
so.
figure it out. If not, we'll have fun.
mm. Either way, I'll be tuning in. I'll try to
Thank you.
see what your further thoughts are for
Mm.
the ultimatum. So see how much I agree with it, see how much I don't. But it's been a time, y'all. It's been a time this week. And 4 more episodes of this Never Ever Met. See how much further, how much worse it's gonna get, because apparently next week Josh and Shay are gonna get into it. So see what that's all about. Because apparently he's some woman said that he slept with her or something like that. So we'll see what that's actually about, and if it's actually true or not. So I mean, anyway, was there anything else on the preview that I may have missed?
No, that
That
was
was
about it.
the
We finally seen there's more than one kind of fire coming from the boom boom room.
Well, thank you for letting us go on a tangent the last like 20-30 minutes, but it was, yeah, hopefully these people can part and continue to never ever be, because they really aren't that great for each other, unfortunately. They're just stressing each other out to the max. So ugh. Anyways, hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and if you're off on Monday, have a good Monday. Stay safe. I know it's supposed to be pretty hot where I'm at the next few days. So Central Texas people stay cool. Hopefully the grid won't freaking overload, because we'll always get a advice not to overload the grid here. So I mean, but so stay cool, stay hydrated. Same thing with you, Elsie, please, please. And with that, we'll see you guys later.